Hey guys, we're back with another daily update video. It is Wednesday, July 8th. It's 5:08 p.m. and it was just another weird day in the market. I mean, looking at the big board here, we can see it's mostly green, but that really doesn't tell you the whole picture of what happened all throughout the day. I mean, big tech was up: Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple. The semis were up. Micron was up 1.3, AMD up almost 1%. So overall, good day for the tech sector. But again, it doesn't really tell you the complete story. So let's start with IWM, because if you remember from my recent videos, I currently have a cash secured put on IWM at the $137.50 strike price. And this graph pretty much does a good job of explaining what the whole market did today. So we opened up pretty much right where we closed off yesterday. So my predictions in my last video last night were not correct. I thought we were gonna pump the market overnight, and I thought IWM was going to open up at like 142, but it opened up pretty much right where we closed. And then we did have that strong rally for the first about 45 minutes of market open, up to, IWM went from 140 up to 142. So I thought, my overall thought or hypothesis for today was we were going to have a big green day since we had a pretty significant red day yesterday. And once I saw this rally going up, I said, great, this is fantastic. We're going to rally. My puts are going to be great. But then we started dipping pretty hard, and we went from 142 in terms of IWM to 139 in roughly an hour, from about 10:15 a.m. to 11:25. And then we rallied a little bit back to baseline here, and then we traded sideways, and then power hour happened where we actually rallied into power hour, and we ended up in the green. And that's what a lot of stocks did, where they were green in the morning, they went red hard, traded sideways red all day long, and then power hour happened and they rallied and closed green. So that's why this graph or this display is actually very misleading, because although, yes, at the end of the day, a lot of the stocks ended green, for the vast majority of the day, they were all in the red. I wouldn't say they were all in the red, but most of them were in the red. So I hate days like these, because if you're trying to open up option positions, these days can make or break you. Because if you were to, let's just say, sell a put at the peak here, and then the market dipped, well, you immediately, quote unquote, lost money, right? Because you would have made more premium if you waited for the dip. And vice versa. I mean, if you tried to open up a call, depending on whether you wanted shares called away or not, depending on if you're opening them at the peak or at the valley, really messes up your positions in terms of your premiums and your strikes. So in a perfect world, I would love for the day to have been sideways, because then you don't get FOMO and you don't regret maybe opening a position in the morning versus in the evening, or vice versa. So I didn't open any new trades this week in terms of opening or closing positions. So I still have my IWM 137.50. But so as you can imagine, in the morning when IWM rallied, I had made money because the stock was going up, so it's farther away from my strike price, so my premiums were more secure. And then when it dipped, I was in the negative again because IWM was closer to my strike. In fact, it was only about $2 away from my strike price. And then we rallied again. And then we closed the day at 141, almost 142. So again, my premiums were good. We're in the green. So let's just take a look at the option chain to see where my premiums are at the end of the day today. So 137.50. It's at $38. So if you remember from my last video, I actually sold this option and collected $59 in premium. So I am in the green right now. I've made roughly 59 minus what it's selling at right now, 38. So I've made $21 so far on IWM. But I'm not worried, because we have only 2 more days left before this option expires. And that means that in 2 days, this has to go to zero. So we have to lose $38 of value in 2 days. So if we just do a quick, this is not how it works, but if we just divide it by 2, we're going to lose roughly every day now I hold on to this position, I should be profitable by $19, assuming IWM trades sideways where it is right now. But I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not concerned about IWM dipping down to 137.50. In fact, because we didn't pump and rally today, I'm expecting or hoping for a good rally tomorrow, and not one of these up and down days like a green day that opens green and stays green. That's what I'm hoping for. The other thing to keep an eye out is, remember, tomorrow is Thursday, so that means the unemployment numbers come out. And recently, the past few Thursdays, you think it's always bad news and the market is going to go red, but it hasn't been red. It's always been green. And I think some of it has to do with the Fed printing money. So that's also why I hope and I think that we're going to be green tomorrow, because the Fed is probably going to print money to compensate for the supposedly or bad news of employment numbers coming out tomorrow. The other thing I will tell you is just as a quick heads up is, as of right now, all the PPP money and all like the employers paying their employees through these loans, it expires at the end of the month. So these people that are unemployed and just collecting paychecks while they're sitting at home and not working from these PPP loans, that's going to go away at the end of the month unless Congress and the government either extends it or opens up a new PPP loan. So that might, bode bad news for the market, because now all of a sudden you have people not working and not making money or receiving any form of paycheck. So just keep that in mind in case you have options open or options expiring towards the end of the month. So knowing that, if no new deal gets passed, I'm probably going to either, again, go cash towards the end of the month or play it extra safe and maybe go like 0.2% return on risk instead of my usual minimum 0.4. But just as a heads up, keep an eye on that, because the market may dip off that bad news. And I think that would be significant bad news if now people are not receiving any sort of income. So I'm looking pretty good on IWM. Again, I'm just not happy with the day, because I don't like up and down choppy days like this, because you just can't get a gauge of what the market is doing. It's just kind of peaking and valleying, and I just hate days like this. I'd rather it be consistently green, consistently red, or consistently sideways. I don't like the up and down. I mean, look at the swing. The swing on IWM was from 142 to 139. So it swung almost $3 up and down and then went back up again right before market close. So I can't stand days like this, but what are you going to do? I'm glad I opened up my position before today, because if you open up positions on days like this, it just kills you in terms of like your mental stress. So let's look at my Micron position. So I have also a cash security put on Micron that I opened up at the $48 strike price, and I collected $22 in premium. So Micron was the same. I mean, it was green for most of the day, but it was up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, look at this. It went from here. It had one leg down, another leg up, another leg down, up, a little bit down, a little bit up, more down, more up, down. I mean, it was just up and down craziness. And I wish I would have opened up a Micron put during some of these down trends today. But like I said, I opened up my position yesterday. I sold it for $22 in premium. And it's not looking so great right now. I mean, when I was watching it during the middle of the day, I was actually also again in the negative. But because Micron rallied right before market close, it's only worth $14 now. So I am profitable by $8 because I sold it for $22 and now it's only worth $14. So I'm up $8 right now, Micron. But again, same scenario. Micron has 2 days to lose $14. And we're getting kind of close. I mean, there were points in the day where Micron was around 49 and some change. So we rallied a little bit. So I'm glad about that because we have a buffer now between my strike of 48. But yeah, Micron also had a very weird up and down day, just looking at this graph here. So let's take a look at the trading view charts here. So we'll start off with Micron. And you can see, let me erase this. So you can see, again, we're still trading above, we're trading below, I should say, the Ichimoku cloud, but it looks like it wants to cross back over into the green. But we'll see. Micron's trading right above the 50 RSI level. So you can see it right here. It was in the oversold category, which is where we ended yesterday. So it did rally today, but look at this. It went up, down, and it actually closed up. But yesterday would have been a good day to open up a put. And also, if you just wanted to buy shares outright, it would have been a good day to buy shares when Micron was oversold. The last time it was oversold was around here. Also rallied, but again, very choppy up and down. So I like AMD because people have noticed as well that when AMD shows oversold, it's a really good opportunity to just buy shares or open up puts because it tends to rally every time it's oversold. I mean, look at this point here. Rallied pretty hard. It was oversold here. This one was a little choppy, but it did end up rallying back up. Got oversold here. We rallied again. It was somewhat oversold today around 10 a.m. in the morning. Rallied back up. So AMD, I'm keeping an eye on whenever AMD shows oversold on the RSI. Here's another example here. Oversold, rallies back up. And so I think next time what I might do is, as long as I have cash available, when AMD shows it being oversold, I might do what's called a buy right play, and that's buy BUY dash right WRITE, where if I don't have any shares of AMD currently, you can buy 100 shares of AMD and then immediately sell a covered call on it for that week. So that way, if AMD is oversold like this and then it rallies over the next few days, you can collect premium from the covered call, but then you can also collect stock appreciation from AMD's stock price going up. So you can kind of double dip. And that might be a good strategy as opposed to just buying shares and then selling for appreciation. You can get extra premium on top of that. Because it looks like over the past few months, every time AMD has been consistently oversold, it does tend to rally back up by a few bucks. So that might be another strategy. Another heads up, AMD has earnings coming up in 20 days. So just keep that in mind. Again, good things about earnings are the volatility and the premiums go up. So most likely, if I'm all cash going into this weekend and I have all cash Monday morning, I'll probably look into getting into some AMD plays just because I haven't played it in a while. And also I want to collect some of this nice premium going into earnings if it does pop. So let's take a look at IWM as well. So IWM, again, rather choppy, did dip below the 61.8% Fibonacci level, but again, immediately rose back up. So again, my 137.5 strike IWM put seems relatively safe. I don't think it's going to dip by a few bucks in the next 2 days. Like I said, I think we're somewhat due for a green day. We can't have, although today wasn't a red day, it felt like a red day. So we'll see what IWM does pre-market, and we'll see what it does tomorrow. But I'm looking pretty good. One thing on Disney, I don't know what happened to Disney, but at 3 p.m., Disney took off like a rocket. It rallied really hard from about 113, I think, to like 116-ish. So let's see. Disney was pretty much sideways all day. Now let's see what happened during power hour. So 3 p.m. is right about here. It went from 115 all the way up to almost 117 and actually closed the day in the 116s. So as far as I could tell, no good news came out on Disney. So I'm not sure why it rallied so hard towards the end of the day. But if you had a put on and you didn't want the shares to get assigned, you're looking pretty good. If you had a cover call or if you own shares, you're looking pretty good as well. So, I've been watching Disney now for the past few days, and I just can't get a handle on the stock right now. I mean, just take a look at the trading for the past couple of days. It's almost like a wave where it's like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, pretty consistently. Like it almost looks like it's a fake graph. But Disney has been trading very weirdly lately. Much less of like a pattern trader than AMD or Micron or IWM. Or maybe I just haven't gotten a handle of how Disney trades, but it's just been very erratic, for lack of a better word, lately. So in all honesty, given what my strangle did on Disney last week, I'm just a little bit reluctant to play Disney right now. Maybe if Disney does dip into like the low 80s, 90s, or 100s, it might be good to buy shares on it just because of stock appreciation over a long-term play. But yeah, I just can't get a good grip on Disney right now. So I think I'm going to stick to the semiconductor stocks, AMD, Micron, and IWM. I've been playing them a lot over my past few weeks and months of trading, and they've served me pretty well. So I can't complain. Let's just take a quick look at some of the popular options that were traded today. So Apple, again, big tech, right? Apple, Neo, Baba, Twitter. Baba really popped over the past 2 days. I've been reading a lot about Baba options over the past day or two now. So I'm not sure if good news came out, but I, in general, am staying away from these Chinese companies because anytime a tweet comes out or there's not even a suggestion of a trade war, these Chinese stocks just tank really hard. And I mean, quite literally, all it could take is a tweet, and it could just send these Chinese stocks dipping very quickly. So I don't like that, and that's why I've been staying away because it's too unpredictable for me. See, Walmart is still up here, Snapchat, Tesla. Interesting, AMD nor Micron are near the top of the chart here. Wow, AMD is all the way down here. This is the 55 call that was very popular yesterday, not so popular today. And I wonder if that's because AMD did have a little bit of a late day rally. So maybe all those people cashed out. I'm not sure. AMD actually ended up closing around $53, even though, again, see, you can see it was mostly red below this baseline from where it closed yesterday all day long. But the market rallied going into the close, which might be good news because that might mean that we're going to have a strong after hours and pre-market, and then we might open up green and rally tomorrow too. But we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know if you managed any of your positions today, if you opened up any new positions or closed positions today. And one thing I do want to ask, and I'll leave a comment in the section below, is I'm making all the channels for my Discord server in terms of the different channels in the server that you want. So let me know if you have any suggestions for channels that you want to see. So obviously we're going to have a channel for options trading and Theta gang, but I was also going to have a channel just for stock trading if people want to talk about buying and selling stocks and holding long term. I was going to have a lounge area where people can just talk about anything and everything, current events, watches, cars, movies, TV shows, whatever you want, just to hang out. I was also thinking about having an area for other categories that people may want to talk about that are not necessarily related to stocks, but if there's enough demand for it, I'm more than happy to create channels. I just want to create a community where people can hang out, talk about finances. If you want to talk about investing in general or checking account, banking account, credit cards, whatever. If there's a lot of demand for it, I'm more than happy to create a channel for it. So let me know if you have any suggestions for what else you would like to see in the Discord server so I can get that going. And of course, once we get it started, I will have a suggestion box so people can put in their comments and feedback. And, I'm more than happy to listen to the people. And whatever works, we can keep doing it. Whatever doesn't work, we can get rid of it. So let me know if you have any ideas. I know there's a lot of other stock channels and Discords out there. So if you like something they're doing, we can certainly add it. Just let me know. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, happy trading.